Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 2nd of November. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Kon Energy, Peter Warren, Bendigo Bank, Alumina and Kon Energy. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you're getting the free newsletter every Thursday, but my best stock tips come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so ensure you're getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is on the management side, so if you'd like me to help you manage your share portfolio, then please give me a call. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got a weekly chart here of Kon Energy. This is one that I've looked at a couple of times in the Dynamic Investor Report, and I think I've even covered it in these videos. So basically we had a situation where with this large sideways range with a very clear level of resistance here near $3, and basically looking for the breakout and the big move. So we've seen that recently. Generally, when you have a resistance line that's been in place for a very long period of time, when it does break, you end up with a very big move, and that's what we're seeing now. So yeah, it's still looking good. I mean, short term, if I just switch to the daily chart, to me it just looks like a sideways consolidation. So it might be setting itself up for a bit of a potential sort of triangular formation. So look, I'd be sort of happy to hold. I'd use this low as my stop. And ultimately, if it breaks out of this range, you've got the next buy signal. Okay, PWR. So this price action here is very obvious that there was a warning sign there, because the reason why I say that is you had this sort of jump up here on this particular day, which looked great, but then on the next day, it opened higher and closed almost flat, and then the few days after that, it was trading lower. So a combination of all of that, it looked like it was going to struggle, and we could see the share price struggling ever since. So it's still trending lower. No signs yet that it's going to reverse. I mean, we've got these lows here from June, so possibly it could possibly find support here in the next day or two. You need to see evidence of that first, otherwise, I think it's at risk of heading back to the June low from last year. Okay, Bendigo Bank, so just a downtrend. It's a long-term downtrend. If we switch to the monthly chart, it's a little bit more telling. So we could see that it peaked pre-GFC and has never recovered since, but you can draw a trend line there and it fits very neatly. So it reminds, to me, this looks like the Westpac chart, but Westpac peaked in about 2015, and then it's got this very clear downtrend line. So I'd have to say that Bendigo, the risk is still to the downside. It's been that way for 15 years. It clearly needs to get above that line to even resemble a buy, so yeah, risk is still to the downside. AWC, so we'll just start off with the weekly chart. We could see for the last few years pretty much downtrend, and we could see it really starting to accelerate recently. So that's the daily chart there. Basically, we could see that sort of support here and even this low getting taken out. So they were the latest sell signals. Sort of oversold here on the RSI, but a little bit of bullish divergence. So I'd expect a possible short-term bounce, but just given how poorly it's performed over time, you're going to hit the sellers will step in pretty quickly. So I don't see this doing too much. At best, you get a base from here. Okay, and finally Kon. So look, another one that we had a look at earlier in the year, looking for a possible upside break. So I'm just switching to the weekly chart. So there was very obvious resistance at around 240. So again, long-term resistance could lead to a fairly decent move. So we've got the upside break. Hasn't made too much progress in the past several weeks, but to me, even though this looks messy, just seems to be consolidating on top of that. So if I switch back to the daily chart, I'd basically treat this one as a hold after the buy signal. You'd be a seller if it broke support, and clearly if it gets out of this range, that's your next buy signal. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, please send it through and I'll try to cover it next Thursday for you.